I was born in a village called Kojama. I walk 10 kilometers to school every morning before the sun rises.
I mean, I know the movie will be a blockbuster. It's a rare kind. It's not the normal Nollywood movie that you see. So it's a first-class movie. I'm very certain about that.
If you got it, come and give it.
Cobweb is the conflicts in a young man's mind between his destiny and what his parents want. First and foremost, this is my first English movie that I'm producing, and it's one that we shot on Red, and we shot like within 3.5 years because we wanted the best thing. It started out as a short film, you understand. Eventually we not blew it up to a real story for commercial purpose. So Cobweb is one that it's not a common story, it's not a common picture. The cinematography is out of this world, and it's one that you watch and you think is an American movie or a South African movie. The acting, the cinematography, the glamour, everything.
If you got it, come and give it. I need your hand.
Well, I'm sure you need no introduction to the person that it's my guest now. Well, thank you for joining us again on Call That Just Extra. Well, I have a guest celebrity in the house. I'm going to enjoy myself today. Talk. FOLUKE DARAMOLA Salako. Thank you for joining us on Call That Just Extra.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for inviting me over to your
Well,
program.
you look great. I think this is the first time. We're talking behind the camera, and I said, you look great. The camera really probably not doing enough.
Well,
Of course, I can see you physically in the studio.
No,
now,
it
so.
also depends on the role you're playing.
Okay.
You know, if you're playing the role of a rich madam, a spoiled brat, a pepper seller, and all that, you have to waive it. The beauty of it is for you to be able to remove FOLUKE from Mulika and remove Mulika from Mrs. Benson. You understand? So that is the beauty of the camera. You understand? So you shouldn't be who you really are. You understand? You should make sure that you're different from the real you to when you are on camera. So I guess.
Of course, I'm seeing you physically. Very enthusiastic person. Very happy. But okay, let's start now. I mean, FOLUKE DARAMOLA Salako, a Nollywood actress.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit about your background. Let's start from there.
Well, from my primary school. What you want? Oh, from my university. Well, primary, I spent the better part of my life. I was born in Lagos, and I went to Maryland Convent. Later, I went to Anthony Model School. I went to like 3 different secondary schools because I had to move from one point to another.
Oh.
But I finally finished secondary school in Ikeja High School. I proceeded to, but just about when I was leaving secondary school was when I started acting. I started acting in 1995, 96.
Okay.
And I started out with Palace. Before then, I'd been doing talk shows, Teen TV on DBN with Chichi Okaro. And I was invited to Our Time on AIT. No, Teen TV was one for AIT. Our Time was one for DBN. So I was invited to Teen TV on AIT. But I found Teen TV the same thing I was doing on Our Time talk show. So just about the time I was backing out of talk show and I was just about concentrating on my education was when I met my role model, my mentors, Barrister Tunji Bamishibi and Seraph Mwadike. And they invited me over for Palace. That was my first soap opera. I was Judy Kusoko's daughter then, Remile Kulukas, and I started acting. But you know, at the time I started acting, you know, I told you I wasn't in the university then.
Yeah.
Just about the time I was making big cash, I got admitted into Obafemi Awolowo University. So I was torn in between going to school and continuing to make my money. And I thought to myself that acting will always be there. So I went to school for my first degree. I read international relations. And when I finished, I came back and I started acting because I used to have a teacher that told
Full
me
time
then that,
this time, right?
yeah, no, I used to have a teacher that told me then that you can't speak English more than the English one. So he said I should try and do a bit of Yoruba stuff, which I did.
Okay.
So I did a bit of student union in school as well. I was the director of socials and SUG, student union government, and I started the Yoruba thing. While I was doing the Yoruba movies, I went for my masters as well in the University of Lagos.
Okay.
And I read international law and diplomacy. And apart from my acting, I do a bit of humanitarian work, activism.
Okay. We'll go into all of that, but while you were doing all of this, how did you combine with acting at that time and schooling at the same time?
Yeah.
From your first degree,
in Ife.
And then you were still acting, and then you went for masters as well. You were still acting. So how did you combine all of this together?
You just need to prioritize your timing. For anything you want to do, it's a mindset. If you set your mind to do it, I'm one person that likes to set a pace for myself. I don't like time wastage. I believe that if I'm doing something and I have ample time in my hands, that means I'm wasting it.
Right.
So at the time I was in Ife, it wasn't easy because I had to, when I was shooting Palace, I had to be coming almost every weekend because we had to make the soap relevant with what was happening in the present situation. You understand? So we needed to keep up with it. So I had to be coming to Lagos almost every weekend to come and shoot. Sometimes weekdays I come back on Tuesday. I'll go on Friday, I'll come back on Tuesday. You understand? So I had to, there were sometimes I couldn't do it because maybe when I had tests or I had exams and everything, you understand? But because of the determination of the fact that I needed to manage my timing, as students, we don't understand that we have so much time in our hands.
But how did you? Was there a point where you were talk out of acting at that point? Because while growing up, of course, we know that our parents can influence our decision when we make a decision sometimes. So that you need to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to. Were you?
Oh, of course. My mom happened to be a widow because she lost my father when she was pretty young. I lost my father when I was only 2 years old, and then she's an educationist. So you can imagine the dilemma that I was in then. She would always tell me, people that act are not responsible people in the society. And the mindset then was like, if you are acting, you are jobless or you don't have anything you are doing. So at that time, like there was the time when I shot Palace, she didn't know about it. I was just sneaking through it. I was sneaking through it. So when they started showing the promo on TV, the time we were just in the sitting room.
She saw it.
I said, it's not your child. No, it's not you. So I had to go and run to my mentors that they should come and speak with her on my behalf and everything. And they came, and my mom was like, no, she doesn't want me to act. Or actresses are not people that are decent in the society.
Is it true that actresses are not, those who are in the Nollywood are not responsible people, especially for the female actors?
Like I said, it's a mindset.
Okay.
It's a mindset because it's your determination. Like I said, I hadn't even gone for my first degree when I started acting. And I've finished my master's and I intend to proceed. I intend to have my PhD. You understand? So it's a mindset. 1, 2. The society we are in is one that because people watch you on skin and a lot of people are desirous of you, they have that impression that everybody is desirous and everybody is having you at the same time. So it's like a mindset that, okay, these people cannot be responsible.
Okay.
It's like okay, you now see me you see something, you see a drink in a bottle and you assume that drink is sweet or you assume it's bitter and you're assuming a taste for it. You understand that to a large extent we have a whole lot of responsible people out there. It's just a career that we've chosen. Okay. Being an actress or being an actor doesn't take you away from being you.
So you're telling us now that those who are in the Nollywood are responsible people.
Yeah, a whole lot of responsible. Let me give you a scenario. You have bankers that are not responsible. You have lawyers that are not responsible. Okay. So you also have people that are not responsible in the arts, but you have some people that are highly responsible and morally upright as well.
I'm sure children are watching now, and I'm sure most of our children want to choose a career, especially some of them want to choose acting, some of them. What can you say to any parent watching now?
One thing I always advocate for, and I've been like an ambassador for that, even though I'm not paid for it, is that we should try as much as possible to impact knowledge.
Okay.
Make sure your child goes to school, so that you won't be limited in options. Like I am acting. I read international relations for my first degree. I did international law and diplomacy for my second degree. Desmond Elliot is now one of the honorables. He has that chance because he's educated.
Okay.
You understand? But a lot of times our parents and our children.
So what you are saying is that parents should encourage
education
their...
foremost.
Okay.
Education. Like I was reading in the papers yesterday about the mass failure of WAEC. And you know at the end of the day, at each point in time, I always tell my husband that Nigeria has a big problem. What is the problem? We are encouraging the things we ought not to encourage. Okay. I'm not saying we shouldn't encourage showbiz. I'm not saying we shouldn't encourage music. I'm not saying we shouldn't encourage arts. But as well, we should encourage education. Because a society that is not knowledge driven is going to have a major problem. Okay. It's going to be a crisis.
Let me hold you there. Of course, we're going to talk more when we come back. Let's quickly take a short break on Call That Just Extra. FOLUKE, Daramola Salako is still in the studio. We'll be back to talk more. Join us again.
Mama need to do.
I was born in a village called Kojama. I walk 10 kilometers to school every morning before the sun rises.
I mean, I know the movie will be a blockbuster. It's a rare kind. It's not the normal Nollywood movie that you see. So it's a first-class movie. I'm very certain about that.
If you got it, come and give it.
Cobweb is the conflicts in a young man's mind between his destiny and what his parents want. First and foremost, this is my first English movie that I'm producing, and it's one that we shot on Red, and we shot like within 3.5 months.
It's an up-close section with FOLUKE Daramola Salako. Now let's look at talk about I mean, most actors in Nollywood being characterized with one, like say, controversy or the other.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever had any? Yes, if you ever had any, the one I had is about your marital life. I mean, you're married now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you were once separated from your husband.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit of that. What people want to know is that what I've read, that really you actually took somebody's husband, that you snatched somebody's husband now, and you're married to the person. Tell me now, you're in the studio with me live here now.
Funnily, I find that very childish and stupid. Because a human being, is it possible for you to snatch a human being? Talk more of a man that has ego. You understand? Emotion is not something you can hold your hands to. Emotion is something that comes to everybody.
Okay.
You have men in Nigeria that has 4 wives, 5 wives, 10 wives. And whatever you do with your life is a choice. If my husband decides that he wants to get married to me when he's off his marriage, I don't see any crime in that. So I don't know where the issue of snatching comes from. It doesn't even come to play. Because in Nigeria, we're very hypocritical about a lot of things. So I find it so amusing and stupid sometimes. Because when you say someone snatched, it's like stealing.
Okay.
Can you steal emotions? Is this something you can hold your hands to? You can't steal it. So it's something that anybody can have feelings for whoever. And what is foremost in any man's life is happiness.
Has he been married before?
That's left to him. I wouldn't go there because it's his business. I wouldn't go there because
I know a lot of your fans want to know more about you.
No, the truth of the matter is, I, FOLUKE, have never claimed to be Jesus Christ, the saint. I have my misgivings and I have my feelings. My feelings I am entitled to my happiness and my joy. If I find happiness in someone that maybe has a past, I should not judge that person by his past, because he did not judge me by my past.
Okay.
So that area is something that I tell people, that if you want to talk about it, you have to be careful. You have to put yourself in that situation. Can a woman snatch you away? Is that possible? If you don't want to go.
Are you happy in your new marriage?
Extremely. That's what I'm saying. I said something. I said happiness is what is foremost.
What if your former husband comes back and come back in today?
You know, I don't talk about my past marriage because I have
Okay.
kids involved.
Okay.
You understand? But myself and
How
my
many kids
ex-husband,
ready
I
do
have
you
two.
have? Okay.
Myself and my ex-husband understands that there can never be a
Who is in
reconciliation.
charge of the care of the children at the moment?
My children are with me.
All right.
Definitely, you should know that they are still minor. So
Okay.
the only person that the kids can be with is actually me. Yeah.
Interesting. But a lot of people wants to know, I mean, okay, how did you meet really? A lot of people want to know, now you're happy in the marriage. How did you meet?
And then, you know, the person
And
I'm
then
married to is not...
before you were
is-
not happy, and now FOLUKE Daramola is now happy.
I
Happily
always
married.
tell people at each point in time that when I got married the first time, I was in a hurry. My friends were getting married, and I had my misgifts. I was frigid because my first introduction to sex was rape.
Okay.
I had my issues, and it happens that God gave me a second chance in my marriage. If at the end of the day I cannot manage my home this way, and a woman takes him away from me, I shouldn't blame that woman. I should blame myself. Because when I wanted to leave the first marriage, I left on my own volition.
Okay.
Because it doesn't mean that because I left, he can't find somebody else that can make him happy.
So
doesn't
now
mean so.
you're not finding any, there's no reason whatsoever that could bring this current marriage or bring any problem.
I always say something, abuse. And thank God my husband is not abusive. He's he's a completely gentle man.
A lot of people are in your having the same, going through the same now.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to tell them? Are you saying if someone doesn't find happiness in his or her marriage,
Yeah.
he can take a leave? Is that what you're saying?
I always use a quotation from the Bible
All right.
where Jesus saw the Samaritan woman and told her that are you married? Do you have a husband? And she said no.
Okay.
He said he had been to how many husbands? Five. That those are not her husbands. So that's to tell you that even in the Bible there were allowances for divorce.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't meet the person you're supposed to meet at the first time. It doesn't make you wrong. But in this part of the society, they make it seem like you have done a great sin. And at the end of the day, you find out that some women don't even believe in themselves anymore because they don't have the strength to come out of it and take a bold step. If I was not destined to be married to Kayode, I would not be married, and I'll take care of my children perfectly, without any inhibitions.
Interesting. At least you're happy in the marriage
Yes,
right
that
now.
is what is
Let's
most
move
important.
away from that now. Why is it that Nollywood actors, at the end of the day, they end up in politics? And then I heard that you're also one of them trying politics at the moment.
No, I took my time because I just wanted to see the terrain, and then I wanted to encourage the people that believe in the right cause that we believe in. I believe in humanity, making a difference in the society. I have plans to go for something later,
Okay.
but I'm a perfectionist. I don't do anything shoddy. You understand? I believe in the cause of some candidates in Nigeria. I believe in the cause of Ambody. I believe in the cause of Yayi. I believe in the cause of General Muhammadu Buhari. I believe in the cause of the vice president, and I want to encourage them there. So I do that with my social media.
You have an ideology. For someone like you want to go into politics, either now or in the future, you have an ideology. Do you think, what do you see with the current ideologies of our political parties in Nigeria at the moment, and that can be changed? What really can be changed
Like
about
I
politics
always
in
tell
Nigeria?
my husband that it's not like any political party is perfect, but I look at the individuals more. Do you have a conscience? Do you have the orientation of doing the right thing? Do you have the orientation of being fair and just? You understand? Because at the end of the day, I don't base my own opinion on the party, but on the individual. But I tend to feel that to a large extent, without being sentimental, a whole lot of mentally viable, intelligent people tend to be more to the APC. And it doesn't mean that the PDP don't have intelligent people as well, but to a large extent, I think that they have a lot of people that are thinking more there.
Well, I guess you need to go now. Thank you for coming on the show for Look at Daramola Salako. I'm happy you're here. But let's quickly do something. Maybe acting or something?
You want me to cry? If I cry, you have to use money to stop me.
Okay.
You want me to yell?
Okay, let's assume I am your sweetheart now. So, and I'm very, very angry. So how do you pacify me to be happy?
Okay, you want my dialect or in English?
English, any
English, yeah, okay. I think it would flow better with my Yoruba stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Olówó orí mi, kí ló dé? Ṣé mo ṣẹ̀ ẹ́ ni? Wá dẹ́kun wá bá mi sọ. O kò dé ń lejú látàárọ̀. O mọ̀ pé bó ṣe ń lejú yẹn, o wà comfortable mọ́.
I'm happy. I'm not happy again. I'm not happy. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. Or when we have you, I guess when we'll have you again, I mean, call you again, you'll be around.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming for Daramola Salako. And
Yeah.
that, of course, wrap up the show today on Call Digest Extra. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank on Malape. Bye for now.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Core TV News, expanding your view.